Book titled The World I Grew Up In. Section 1, My Childhood. I came to San Francisco by the age of 6, driving with 10 members of our extended family. My uncle stood at the cliff overlooking the highway entrance to California. He breathed a sign of relief. Over 4 years journey out of Vietnam during the hyperinflation days, during the post-war days were over. We made it. The old mountain of gold, as many dream profess of pursuing, got hold of us. We slept over the Tenderloin neighborhood with one of our boat family of survivors, aka the boat people. A week later, my family rented a beat-down barber shop. It was barely legally deemed a living space, yet we have shelter. Of course, in reciprocity, the landlord could squeeze about $200 a month from us in the streets of Richmond district of San Francisco. My uncle rented a place in Oakland. These two rentals started our dual axis of family stronghold. To this very day, in other words, the apartment complex my uncle purchased in 1988 and the house we bought in Portola neighborhood in 1989 were permanent residents of our extended family. Many of my cousins got married and have multiple wonderful kids moved out of the original housing of the dual axis. My mom passed away in March of 2021 on my 50th second birthday on September 23rd, 2024, or a day over the last of IU's concert in South Korea. Our extended family, David No from Mississippi, passed away, along with Chloe's mom, are all in heaven with actual eyes of me being the beholder of the eight axis of female superpower. In this consequential media, I will traverse the sceneries of the Bay Area. The geographies embedded in my media will expand to all areas all over the world. This will be our backdrop of our ever expanding fans of the Global 911. Happy smiles get happy times. I'm shy to admit, being 50 years old, I never traveled anywhere. It was 2005 that my mom took me to a trip to Thailand. It was a memory that I will never forget. I took a snapshot of a nice Thai girl who stood next to an encounter as a masseuse. I literally professed during that time that I would pursue my effort to marry her. On the circumstance that followed, she slipped out of my forethought of good fortune. My first step into the shops of San Francisco came in my junior year in high school. I was routinely beaten and bullied in the 44 bus. There was one time where a bunch of kids used a cigarette lighter to burn my friend's hair. Luckily, bullying did not leave me a permanent scar. As time passed during my adult life, however, it was a 4 point for which I drove a car as early in my age as possible. As a result, I had to get a job after school. As soon as I was capable to be in the legal age to drive, my uncle forfeited his beat up Pontiac for me. My first day of driving the car with my brother to George Washington High School was both exhilarating and scary. My foray into driving the beat up Pontiac was to head to McDonald's in Stanton Street. As it of 2021 or a year after COVID, that McDonald has since been closed. As top Uber driver for 10 years since 2014, I had landed on many encounters at McDonald's, and especially one in Alameda ever since. I would think which McDonald's was our Vice President Kamala Harris had worked briefly in the summer days of Alameda. One day I might get to reach her and ask, but for now I have to ponder the origin of my mindset thoughts. I will also add that if she had anything to do with the interview with San Francisco Supreme Court, like Anne Rice's interview with Vampire, the tense moment as I stood before the microphone was easier than I thought. My first after school job was to sell shoes in Foot Locker. The next year, I worked in Herman selling sporting equipment. The two jobs were all within the vicinity of Market Street of San Francisco. The two jobs made me awkward. However, they primed me to be the master of salesmanship of arts. I never saw the fruition of fortune that has imposed upon me because of my sales skills up until 2024. The day I stood in front of the panel of judges to be inducted as part of grand jury was a priceless experience. I fathomed the height of my success. It was a silent moment that was met on talents that gave me the courage and power to pursue. When the beagle has ended, you are met with silence. In the year 1989, from the dining area of McDonald's in Stanton Street, where I drove the Pontiac with a quick pickup of a few friends of my friends, I ate lunch for the next year of my impending senior, where will be the ones where I caught senioritis. Being a senior out of high school, my stance on life was feeble. As I took my first step into the stairs of City College in San Francisco with Gary Lamb, who had been friends with me since my elementary days, I got scared. Yet, as I remember, I drove to McDonald's for the first time in 1990 during the junior year in high school. If success is an emotional state, then perhaps I can climb the upward stairs of life. When the beagle has landed, you are met with silence. In the next section, I will merge the people with the sceneries of San Francisco. Being a top Uber driver for 10 years, by the time the year 2024 hit, I had 43,229 rides. With all the scenes of my afterthought at the peripheral vision of my eyes, I smelled in wonderment and awe of the landscape that traverses on either sides of me as I drove my passenger for the hard days of work. To steal time shamelessly, there must be a facility for you to reclaim them as the grim reapers that makes your adversary weep. Crescent View at the north side of San Francisco would be a good starting point as advantage of people that came into my life.